It's definitely been a minute since we talked about the Adelson family, but there's been a lot going on with Donna's trial, and so I thought we'd go over it because it's pretty interesting. So we know that Donna's trial currently is supposed to be in the Tallahassee area, but she had switched attorneys. She had to get a new one because she was using one that worked with Charlie. And Charlie Adelson, if you don't know, is her son. He was found guilty of murdering Dan Markel, or at least setting up the murder, and she is accused of the same thing. Definitely looks like she was heavily involved, if not the entire idea might have been all hers, not even Charlie's. So it's all very interesting. But so she is there currently, and recently they had to get her older son's his entire let me open this for you. His entire deposition needed to be taken because she had new attorneys. So they needed to have it unsealed so they could write it all out, have it all, and then be able to move forward with the case. But there was an issue in the court. Evidently, the court clerk made an error, made it public on their website, and everybody got a hold of it. All the news stations, everywhere. So it was blasted everywhere. And it was pretty bad for Donna, just in the sense that he doesn't like his mom, it seems like. Nothing good to say. And the state was already going to call him as a witness for them. So just having this released was really bad for her. So that they're hoping that that will sway the judge and let them move. And it doesn't sound like that's going to happen. Almost every attorney that has spoken on it has said that they think it will be denied. We'll see. But I want to read you some of the things that he had said that we weren't supposed to be able to see, but since we can now, I'm going to share just a little bit with you. If you don't know, so he is the oldest son, and when Dan Markel was murdered, he actually stopped talking to his entire family. He thought they may have been involved. He didn't want to have anything to do with it. He's a doctor. And he cut all of them off then and there. So even before arrest, even before Charlie going to prison, he was done. That's good to know, right? So then, in this whole document, he talks about how selfish Donna is, and that of everybody in the family, she would be the one to put her needs before everyone else, which is, I guess it's not surprising at this point. It seems like she carried the family and was the patriarch. So it's not too much of a surprise. But he then goes into the family was suspicious around that time. He wasn't trusting them. And it's just, once again, very interesting because if you watched my New Year's, what I predict for this coming year, I think that Wendy Adelson is going to be arrested and go through the whole trial. Because how could two of these family members known all of this and planned all of this, and Wendy, who is married to Dan Markel, how did she not know? But Rob won't even talk to her. So he's suspicious of her too, which is definitely not good. And if he's going to be called as a witness in this entire trial, it is not looking good for Donna, especially since Charlie was already found guilty. They have more than enough stuff on her. And if you remember, when they arrested her, she was actually trying to leave the country. Now, she says it was just a vacation and that she was going to come back. But I don't know about that because that was right after she found out that Charlie had been arrested. Who would leave at a time like that if they were innocent? So I'd say probably not. I'm going to scroll really quick, see if there's any other major thing in this. Yeah. So it's interesting too because up till now, the dad hasn't been arrested. Nothing's going on with him, but Rob has refused to speak to him as well. I just think that all of this is very damning on the entire family. Yeah. So you'll have to let me know what you think. If you think that she'll get a new location, do you think that she's going to stay there? Do you think she's going to be found guilty? Because I sure do. And then nobody's really talking about Wendy, and I would love to know your opinions on it all. Like I said, I feel like she has to have either been involved or knew about it. And I think it's just a matter of time. But I like to know your thoughts. Sometimes people go into way more information than I do on certain trials, and this is definitely one of them that I haven't done any major deep dives. So if you have, please write it below. I love reading the comments and learning quickly about things that I've missed out on. So, all right, I'm going to be back on later today talking about California's wildfires. I found out that over 100 people have been arrested since the fires started, and there's been about 4 or 5 of them that are arrested for arson. They think they directly did it and caused all these different areas to go up in flames all around the same time. Not necessarily knowing each other and doing it together, but once one started, other people went out and started as well, which is just ridiculous. And if you haven't heard, California basically the week before, a whole bunch of fire insurances were dropped. And so many people had it. And then the week before this happened, they were dropped. It's just horrific, horrible. I hope that if those people were found guilty of the crimes, that they definitely receive the verdict that they deserve. But we're going to be diving more into that and looking up information on each of those people right now so I can give you more details later. I'll probably be back on around 6 or 7. So in about 6 or 7 hours from now. All right, thanks for watching. And like I said, if you happen to have more details on the Donna Adelson stuff, please share.